Do you want to learn how to draw a realistic skin tone? So make sure you watch this video until the end. Hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well today and welcome to another tutorial. My name is Ahmed Reza, the artist behind InCabin, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be focusing on how to create a realistic skin tone. So let's get into the tutorial. The first thing to mention is that I'm using hatching technique to get a base layer. So what is hatching? Hatching is the most basic technique used for applying shading using parallel lines in the same direction. So I use hatching to get a base layer, and to do this I use burnt ochre very lightly. Then I go in with light flesh to add a few light layers, the same way I did for the base layer. And as you can see, I start from the darker side, which is closer to the crease of the upper eyelid, then work my way across to the lighter side. Now I'm using ivory the same way I did for the previous light layers. Now I go back in with burnt ochre to add further light layers. In order to create more depth, I start from the darker side, using more layers with slightly more pressure, then I gently apply less pressure as I come to the lighter side. It's so important to hold your pencil further back to control the pressure you use on the pencil when needed. once I finished adding the burnt ochre, I go in with cinnamon. A very important thing to remember is that I prefer to add a few first layers very lightly, because if you press too hard right from the start, it may cause damage to the paper, so the surface won't be able to accept more applications. With each layer of color, you'll need to apply more pressure to make the pigment stick to the paper depending on the reference photo. It is obvious that a pencil with a sharp point you can overlay the tooth of the paper in a more efficient way than a dull one, because with a dull pencil you need to push harder and harder to cover all those spots and blend it. If you're getting value out of this tutorial so far, please like and subscribe for more tips on how to master drawing hyper-realistic facial features or portraits with new videos every week. So moving on to the next part, I use cinnamon very lightly to get a base layer. Then I go in with cinnamon to add a few light layers the same way I did with burnt ochre. With Van Dyke Brown, I add more volume, and as I said earlier, I start from the darker side, using more layers with slightly more pressure, then I gently apply less pressure as I come to the lighter side. At this step, feel free to increase the pressure slightly, but make sure not to press too hard with the pencil. Also apply burnt ochre in as many layers as I need to create depth. I'm using many light layers on top of each other, and over time, these multiple layers help to combine and blend together and create a solid thick layer, helping to give the smooth realistic look that I'm trying to achieve. It's time to increase the contrast, so I go back in with Van Dyke Brown to deepen the shadows, but I make sure to apply more layers with slightly more pressure in the darker shadowed areas, then I gently apply less pressure as I come to the lighter side. Also on my channel, I have in-depth tutorials on how I create hyper-realistic facial features and portraits in colored pencil. So if you want more details, then feel free to click on that subscribe button if you haven't already, and be completely sure to join me every week for a new video. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know what your thoughts are. Also keep checking back with me for more tips on how to master drawing hyper-realistic facial features or portraits with new videos every week. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.